there, everybody. This is Robot Pool Party. We are here at the beautiful, glamorous, very large Dragon's Lair in Austin, Texas. I'm Joe, that's Matt, and our guy in the middle here is Chris.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here.
And Patrick.
Oh, and Patrick is behind the camera.
And we might have a Reiner. It hasn't been confirmed yet.
We might not. I don't know if he's over there. Reiner!
But they're doing stuff.
People online are waiting for you, Reiner.
They had a riot the last time Reiner wasn't there.
It's like Reiner buffering. Well, we may or may not have a Reiner. You will know if he comes by, because you'll feel an angelic presence fill your room as soon as the
and he'll say something in like 2 seconds that's funnier than everything we said the entire night.
Say something awesome.
Hey, hey!
Yeah! Better than everything we've done so far.
And the camera can't see it, but he gave us the fawns thing.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah, so awesome. Okay. Now that was our intro.
Yes.
Already eventful.
That's how we do stuff, eventful. Eventful horizon.
Let's move into our topics for the day.
Awesome. Did we want to go with the kind of downer first?
Let's go with the kind of downer first, and that way we won't have to have a dip in the flow.
Yeah. It'll only be uphill from there.
Only be uphill from there. Just like a week and a half after the passing of Leonard Nimoy, nerd culture suffered another loss in the form of Terry Pratchett, author of Discworld and
Good Omens with Neil Gaiman.
a lot. I will fully confess that I am not as familiar with Terry Pratchett as I probably should be. He was a name that I would always see in the library, like back when libraries were still places that people went.
And that's where I got all my stuff from him. And, I would go to the library and read everything because they had it all, and they had it all in order. So you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 1920. But then I'd start buying the hardcovers. Like, I'm not gonna wait for the stupid library to get this thing.
See, my town, like, we didn't have a great library, and the books we had were usually hollowed out to smuggle drugs and/or guns. But
I can't tell if it's truthfulness or
The library?
facetious.
that's probably a little facetious.
I don't know, dude. I'm scared of those librarians. If they were in the mob, I would totally believe it.
It's all up front, right?
It's the whole front.
Nobody reads. Come on.
How do they pay for their books? It's the library.
My
Donates there.
my experience
How
with
do they
Terry
pay
Pratchett
me
was
library?
basically my best friends in high school, like huge fans of the Discworld series. They were like, "Chris, you got to try this. You got to read this." And they gave me one from like the middle of the series.
Ooh. And that's
Because
where
it
some of
was
his weaker stuff was.
It was the one that was like the Macbeth-ish kind of one.
I
'Cause
kinda
they were
like that one,
Chris,
yeah.
you like Shakespeare? Read this. It's Macbeth. And I read it and it made no sense whatsoever. And I was like, okay, that was a thing. But great author.
Well, the response to his passing online, from what I've seen, has been pretty big. I mean, definitely up there with Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah, he was definitely a beloved nerd icon. So.
Yeah.
I think what helps is that he created a whole bunch of memorable characters, like
Well, his version of death.
yes, he's so awesome. Who has a daughter and then has a grandkid,
Yeah.
and then there's a death for mice. Mice have their own death, which was awesome.
Well, he's a name that's I hear a lot in the same breath as like Douglas Adams, and that's pretty good nerd company to be in.
Yeah, it is basically humor fantasy. It's hard pressed for me to think of somebody else who would be doing humor fantasy right now, off the top of my head. Because everybody's like straight serious stuff because that's how people want it. But like, no, he did the funny. The closest I can think of is Xanth, but not all the way.
The only other name I can think of was Robert Aspirin, and I think he passed away a few years ago too. So.
I've never heard of this guy. I'll have to go look him up if he's doing stuff comparable to what Terry Pratchett was doing.
I don't know if it's comparable, but it was a series that I enjoyed. So
Well, I mean, ultimately, it's it's sad that he passed, and definitely condolences to his fans. And if nothing else, just like with Leonard Nimoy, it's time to kind of like look back and reflect on the good stuff they did and appreciate it all more. So, all right, so that was our downer thing. Hopefully, we can do a robot pool party where we don't have to talk about the death of an icon in the community of the
People should
culture.
just stop dying.
And that's why we have a Reiner.
Reiner with it's,
Problem solved.
That's
Just
it.
live forever.
live forever.
All right.
I'd get pretty bored, but
You taking the Vandal Savage route.
Conquer the world.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that wouldn't be so bad.
It'd be fun for a while.
Yeah.
All right, what's our next topic?
All right, this one's kind of cool.
Is a topic about how we don't have cue cards?
That is the topic. The topic is like how spectacular my phone case is. Ooh.
What is your phone case?
Well, I don't know, but I've dropped
Oh,
my
it's
phone.
just-
I've dropped my phone a million times. They said the guy was like, "It's Kevlar. It's totally Kevlar," and I'm like, "It's the only one at the Sprint store, so it's mine."
All right.
Phone can stop bullets?
We'll find out, please.
We will. I'll do that.
Or like Super Troopers, where he puts
Put
it
it
on.
aside.
So, Warner Brothers is developing an Adventure Time movie. It's going to be produced by the director of the upcoming Lego Batman movie, and then he works on Robot Chicken. So there's two things that sound really promising right there, and then it's Adventure Time, which is a really wonderful show. So like,
Live action?
I didn't say. I'm assuming cartoon because live action Jake, that'd be insane as it is.
Maybe CGI.
Yeah, but like, man, that'd be.
Here's my other question about that. Would Adventure Time actually last for a feature-length movie?
Good.
I mean, the episodes.
Because the episodes are like,
minutes.
It's zany enough.
but the episodes are short, right? They're like 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
And I think that 15-minute freedom gives them time to do some really crazy stuff.
And that's a question.
Yeah, that is a
Would
good
it
point.
sustain for an hour and a half. It's a very good question.
I mean, this
You
is
sit
not
there and
a...
watch episode after episode after episode.
But it's not a continuing story.
Well, a lot of the episodes are connected. You see a lot of continuing themes and things that you saw in previous episodes that continue in this
but
episode.
it's not even
Right,
so
it's
much
like
that.
it's
It's
not
just
a-
one sitting.
It's not a story, yeah.
like one sitting watching it. It might wear kind of thin.
I don't know, I have faith because just that he's working on Batman and he's worked for Robot Chicken, and then, just what Adventure Time has built up so far, there's a lot of whimsy and a lot of ideas that this could be pretty cool. So, like, I still have that hope. But then again, I still hope Shazam's is going to be a good movie, so.
Yeah, you sucker.
It could be like a 70-minute animated movie.
It's entirely possible.
Maybe if Adventure Time does make a movie and it does good, maybe that'll kick Nickelodeon in the butt to make a Legend of Korra movie for theaters, and I would be all about that. But
Anything that's set in the Avatar universe would be awesome.
because everything in the Avatar universe, aside from one or two seasons, is pretty good. And even those seasons, like every season of that, no matter how bad the actual the writing got in the first two seasons, the action scenes are always awesome. But anyways, that's a totally different topic. So what's our next? Well, this one guy just asked if we've ever seen Willow.
I know, he was really upset
That's
that no
ridiculous.
one's.
That guy was really mad that somebody had never seen Willow.
Well, I'm kind of mad too, because that's offensive. That hurts me on an 80s level.
Willow was hardly the defining movie of the
I didn't say it was a defining movie, it was part of it.
I think that's what we heard.
What would
Matt
you
was
say
like,
was
Willow
the
was the greatest.
defining-
Yeah, this
What?
sounds like a good topic of discussion.
There's a great 80s movie that'll come back into play later on this evening, so.
Okay.
You had to name one 80s movie.
Monster
that-
Squad.
That's it.
That was on basic cable, and I almost watched it in honor of you. Because I was on vacation, and I was like, well, do I really want to watch this with commercials?
Yeah, with commercials.
I would bring the DVD in.
Awesome. But
I'm surprised you don't have it on you right now.
you should be converting people to the Church of Monster Squad.
When they start doing comics of it, yeah, then I'll. I can't believe they haven't tapped that yet.
In existence.
I got some great news for you. Also in the movie thing is that the Guardian of the Galaxy director James Gunn wants to do a Squirrel Girl movie,
Yes.
and that is
Favorite.
amazing on so many levels. The comic is amazing. God, if it just follows the comic like even tangibly, where it's like Squirrel Girl goes to college and pretends she's not a superhero, and then she tries to go to college and be a superhero at the same time. That'd be freaking amazing times 10.
I don't even need it to be like faithful to a plot line from the comic. I just want it to be faithful to the concept.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
But it's
know?
gonna be the squirrel song that she sings in issue 1. That's the tune of the Spider-Man song, but it's entirely coincidental. She says so. It's not related.
Not at all. It just happens to have the same melody.
Who would you want to play the new Squirrel?
Tina Fey.
No, she's too old. It's Squirrel Girl.
Not Squirrel Lady.
I don't know.
It'd be somebody like newer, not like mean, because that's what Marvel wants to do. They want to lock those people in because that way, when Squirrel Girl fights Galactus, it can totally.
John Goodman.
John Good.
Well, the new Squirrel Girl
Too
has
old.
a-
If I'm not gonna let Tina Fey, how am I gonna let John Goodman in?
I liked that actress from Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt. I think she was also in The Office.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. But that's entirely possible. She's kind of youngish.
Who's that?
She was the replacement for Pam in The Office.
Oh no,
Ellie Kemper.
she's too cute. The new Squirrel Girl has a really specific look.
I was thinking Aubrey Plaza.
No, she's too grumpy.
Yeah.
Grumpy, she's mean.
She's not always.
I will say that the
Aubrey
Squirrel
Plaza
Girl
should
is
be
very
rated.
chipper.
Chipper.
Yeah, I don't think Aubrey Plaza would.
No, yeah. So like we're gonna nix.
Just throwing out young girls.
No, we totally appreciate the input. But like,
I know Reiner.
It's hard to believe that other people throw
we
young
we
girls
brought
out.
him up, like we were telling the audience how great he was. He's like Aubrey Plaza, and we're like, man.
It's like this
Look at
is
him now. Like he has,
I don't care.
he has an aggressive stance with arms across his chest. He's like, I don't know.
it's like this is Next Generation and he's Worf and we're like, no. Denied.
Suggestion.
Yeah, I wouldn't
suggest
know.
we
Who would
charge
you
weapons.
think, Sarah?
You know, I was thinking like we haven't seen her yet because I can't even think
Yeah,
of somebody.
I can't think of somebody either. It'd be somebody. Like I want to say, like I haven't seen Girls, but like in my mind, what's her face from Girls? The one that's the main girl, the one that everyone always talks about that gets in trouble.
Girls. Is that a show or something?
That's a show on HBO.
I haven't seen it.
What is her freaking name?
Girls, huh?
Yeah, or maybe one of the Broad City Girls. That'd be pretty awesome too. They're kind of older.
I'll just throw this out. Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, why are we going there? And then like Terry Crews. Let's put Terry Crews in the equation.
And like Monkey Joe should be played by Triumph, the insult comic book.
I am insulted.
That's his job.
I like the new Squirrel Girl. She's like super cute and looks like, you know,
Like an actual person that would exist.
like not somebody I could never make my body look like that.
Okay, so but here,
Oh my
here's
gosh, yes, her.
Who?
Maybe.
Dunham.
Lena Dunham? Denham?
Or-
That's her name.
Oh, no, that one girl that was on Parenthood, who she's kind of like tough, and she's got like a cute face. I don't know. I like her face.
Parenthood.
Are you talking about the Teen Mother?
show?
Or
No. Yeah, it's a show. Look it up. We'll look it up and get back to you.
it's a show
All right.
my mom
Well, so they're in the
likes.
committee right there.
we're discussing all this, but here's the thing: the guy just said that he wants to do it. That
But-
doesn't mean Marvel wants to make it.
But
I don't even know.
Marvel, he just hit a property that nobody knew about, nobody cared there. That's kind of weird, and he hit that out of the park.
Which is true.
And he's gonna beat number 2 out of the park too. And I think if he knocks number 2 out of the park, I mean Disney gave the John Carpenter of Mars movie to somebody that's like did money for them well. So like hitting Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy 2, they're gonna be like, sure, do whatever you want. Just don't John Carpenter this puppy for us, but like,
All right, maybe it'll happen. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I
That's
totally-
A character I never would have thought would.
it's something that Marvel movies needs.
I think comic movies in general need stuff that don't take themselves too seriously. And I think that DC is more guilty of that than Marvel though. Because the Brooding League that's coming out.
Just close down.
Like it worked for one series, and I think that was more because of the strength of the director.
Yeah, and I mean, again, I'm not the biggest fan of the Nolanverse. Like we've talked about that before.
We agree to disagree there.
We agree to disagree. But I definitely think it was. I mean, there were solid movies. They just weren't my kind of movies, if that makes sense.
Maybe James Gunn will do Brave and the Bold.
Please do Brave and the Bold. Like
As long as we can get Aquaman like that. Outrageous!
outrageous.
That's her. That one.
Who's
Mae
that?
Whitman.
Mae Whitman. The name sounds familiar.
She did Anne on Arrested
Oh
Development.
yeah, she was the girl from Arrested Development,
Yeah.
and she's in that the Duff movie.
She's the Duff. Yeah,
Yes.
she's the Duff.
Wasn't she
Her.
Katara.
Katara? Yeah, from Avatar.
Yeah, that's what she
Really?
was famous for.
Yep.
There we go, Squirrel Girl.
I feel like she could do Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
pretty.
Egg.
She is pretty. Look at her face.
Awesome.
I just every time I think about that, I have a friend that for a while she used that picture of her from Arrested Development as her Facebook picture, and now it's like synonymous, where it's just a picture of her, and their senior quote was just, "We're supposed to have a quote," and like even underneath her picture, it was like Ann Veal, not picture. Back when that show was good.
that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. Next, we've been off topic. So what's our next?
We got another comic movie related.
Next topic.
Valiant Comics wants to start making movies. Does anybody know any Valiant Comics?
I see them all the
I
time.
know you because you work at a comic book store. Valiant Comics was a comic book. I guess they were started in the 60s as Gold Key. Then they were remade in the 90s under Valiant. They're really famous because they had a book that they did a crossover with Image, and the Rob Liefeld book shipped 2 years late. 2 years late. It was ridiculously late. Then they made Turok Dinosaur Hunter, and Acclaim, the video game company, loved it. They made a video game off
They
it.
made a lot of subpar games off of Turok.
And they bought the whole comic book the comic thing, and then when Acclaim went out of business, they took Valiant out. And I guess some people got together and rebought it and reintroducing it.
I guess my thought is, if Valiant wants to make comic book movies, make them.
Yeah.
Nobody's stopping you. Go ahead. Throw your money away. But
Well, it's just interesting because they have a guy that wears a suit of armor like Iron Man, so I'm sure they're gonna be trying to latch onto that,
you want to know what the first Iron Man movie actually was called?
What?
Steel.
Oh god. Ouch.
Well, when you think about it, on paper, the exact same concept.
And
because
it
there's
They had the benefit of having Shaquille O'Neal in it.
yeah.
Benefit?
He was the most adorable actor ever. Come on.
They're both movies.
Shaquille? Come on, when he smiles in those Gold Bond commercials, I'm milked. I'm
I
like,
love Kazam.
yeah.
Both movies were about military weapon trading. Both movies were about a protagonist that wears a metal suit to fight crime. Both movies had free throws. Both movies had, I don't know, probably Pepsi. All I'm saying is that Shaquille O'Neal could have been the one that's credited for bringing back comic book movies.
That's a bold statement.
That's a bold statement.
But it's out there, and we've said it first.
Wow.
Shaq, you're awesome.
I'll state that Steel is better than every Iron Man movie.
I'll agree with that.
And Shaq Fu is one of the greatest video games of all time.
I won't agree with that. Can we transition from one bad fighting game to another one?
Sure, let's go one bad fighting game to another one.
All right, Mortal Kombat sucks. And we have a new reason for why it sucks. Today they unveiled that they're going to release a new character in their fighting game that's coming out, Mortal Kombat X.
What day are we filming this on?
Friday the 13th.
Who could that character be?
The aliens from Signs.
Oh, that'd be so great. That's the one we can just drip water on them
Yeah.
and they die.
Jason Voorhees has now been announced for Mortal Kombat X, which is cool at first until you find out that he's an exclusive part of their Combat Pack, which is only an extra $30 on top of a $60 game.
Yes.
That's it.
That's affordable. Come
What a
on.
bargain. $100, $30 of which is for stuff that should have been in the game to begin with.
$90
Like Goro?
chicken wrap.
What's that?
Yes. Goro's dead?
So, this is where we're going to disagree a little bit.
Alright.
Because you despise Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
I'm not going to go out of my way to defend it, but I'm going to point out a few things that the franchise has actually done.
Okay.
There's a stretch during the 90s when we weren't getting a lot of new fighters, sort of in between Street Fighter 2 to, I don't know, when did they start coming back out again?
Street Fighter Alpha 3 was in 99? Or Street Fighter Alpha. Yeah, Street Fighter Alpha was 99. And then there was X-Men vs. Street Fighter. That had to be 98.
But I'm just going to say that Mortal Kombat was churning out a lot of games that was at least keeping people interested in the fighting game genre.
They were churning them out, but I don't know. My biggest. Okay,
Well, again, I'm not trying to go out of my way to defend Mortal Kombat because I agree that there are issues with the games. But I'm also going to throw out that Mortal Kombat 9, the cinematic story mode that they put out was amazing.
was a good story mode. And I'm not denying that.
Right.
There's not a lot of fighting games that have a good story mode. I mean, I can probably name on one hand the ones that do, and 2 of them were made by NetherRealm Studios, Justice League, Injustice, and the Mortal Kombat one, and then like maybe like Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, because I think one of them had a really good story mode. Very few fighting games have story mode, but here's my main problem is that, and this is going to be a fanboy argument, but I'm going to stick to it. As a Street Fighter fan, I hate people holding Mortal Kombat up as a parallel to Street Fighter, because Mortal Kombat has always been about the gore. That's all it's ever been about. And people are like, oh, it's, Mortal Kombat's just as good as Street Fighter. It's like, no, it's not. It has the controls of a crappy Flash game on Newgrounds. Like, that is how badly Mortal Kombat controls. As opposed to the fluid motions of Street Fighter and the ease of comboing in Street Fighter. But
I'm not going to defend the smoothness of Mortal Kombat. I'm not going to defend the combat systems, but they do some interesting things, and I appreciate that they take some risks with what they do.
And that's fair. And
they have like style swapping, right? Like you pick a character and you can switch between like 2 or 3 different fighting styles on the fly.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
But my counter to that would be that they introduced that in one of their god-awful Xbox games.
Right. All I'm trying to say is, at least they are doing some interesting things, and like I'm not gonna hate on them too much for that.
We could. I don't disagree. I don't know.
I'm just
Mortal
throwing that
Kombat.
out.
I know we should wrap it up.
All right.
Mortal Kombat sucks.
Lucy Lawless is going to be in the Evil Dead TV show.
As Xena.
She's gonna totally wreck those Deadites. Come on.
God, it would be so great.
She throws.
It'd be so great if she was as Xena.
No, she's gonna be somebody that survived, and she's like fighting the Deadites, and then like she meets Ash because and like Ash has been hiding from her responsibility for 40 years. That's why we're gonna have old Ash.
Nice.
So
we have to explain how Bruce Campbell got old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's not the first time they worked together because they were on Xena.
Yeah, he was Autolycus the Thief, King of Thieves.
So, yeah, I mean,
I'm excited. I mean,
I was already excited for the show.
yeah.
But yeah, cool. I mean, not a whole lot to say about that other than awesome.
Yeah. Speaking of Ash, Bruce Campbell wants to do what he's calling the Expendables of horror movies. So I guess he's going to be having all the horror movie actors in it. And I'm like, anything you do, I'm going to follow Bruce Campbell.
Which I think it's an awesome idea on paper, but just like we discussed, like, how many people can you think of that would be horror movie actor icons? And the only 2 I could think of would be the guy that played Freddy, which is Ben Edlund? Is that
Robert Englund.
Yeah.
Robert Englund, and Jeffrey Combs. But I couldn't think of anybody else.
I guess if Geraldo was here, Geraldo could totally list people.
Geraldo would definitely know because that's his thing. But horror movie icons, like actors that are in a lot of, like if you're making Expendables of horror movies, what actors would you put in it?
Like Scream Queens.
We already said.
We already said that. Yeah.
That's it. Like he's the only one that kind of
And Ash.
Kane Hodder.
Who's that?
He's the guy that played Jason in the last 9 Friday the 13th movies.
Oh, Brad Dourif. Grima Wormtongue, who also voices Chucky.
Yeah.
Who played Saw?
I don't know who played him.
Nobody cares about Saw. That was one of the worst movies of all time. Like
Saw wasn't really necessarily
Okay,
horror
sorry.
as it was just slasher and gore.
But it is an icon, whether you liked the movie or not. I also hated it.
Well, all I'm saying is that I don't think it was horror movie because that was more
torture porn.
torture porn. But
Didn't the Paranormal Activity franchise spawn off into like a dozen movies or something?
I think it
Because it's cheap to make and idiots keep going to them. Like if I could make a movie for $10 and get thousands of teenagers to go to it, I would be doing that right now. We'd have Paranormal Activity 57 because teenagers are dumb and they will spend $8.
iCarly.
There we go, Paranormal iCarly.
15 minutes long.
Well, it's something to discuss, like with Geraldo sometime. Like what?
Okay, Geraldo on here.
Check out Geraldo's show, Pushing the Scary Button. Can we link that in our comments?
I don't think he's got a show yet.
I thought he did. I thought he had a website.
He's got a website, Pushing the Scary Button. We
Pushing
can't
the
link
Scary
to it.
Button. Yeah, he has reviews and all that. And,
But
All right.
Awesome. We're
So, is that it?
that is it in terms of actual news.
Wow, that's it. So I guess.
We're doing this on the phone, so I'm totally prepared.
So it's time for Nerd Blasphemy.
Nerd Blasphemy!
All right.
We should have like a Nerd Blasphemy theme song or like
Nerd
dance or
Blasphemy.
something.
Nerd
If
Blasphemy.
you're doing the horror movie
Nerd
icons thing, you have to have
Blasphemy.
Christopher Lee.
Is he alive?
He's
Still, yes. Mostly.
I think
mostly.
if
Parts of
death
Parts
came
of
for
it.
Christopher Lee, he would probably shoot it or something.
Yeah, I mean, if
No,
Chris,
death is not going to come for Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee is going to come for death.
Crazy.
Of course, we say that, and then next week we'll be like,
It's our
third
fault.
icon. Oh
Christopher Lee
man.
found
Especially
it.
now that we've said that.
It comes in threes, bro.
If Christopher Lee, oh man.
Does Jamie Lee Curtis count?
She was in some
I
horror
think-
movies. I think.
Yeah. Halloween.
yeah.
True Lies.
Yeah. I like that movie.
Me too.
When Bob Burgers did the thing where he buys a helicopter toy from True Lies, I was flipping out. I was like, I love that movie. I want to save Jamie Lee too.
If you count like the original Alien, a horror movie, Sigourney Weaver,
That's a thriller.
is it?
Super suspenseful.
Well, it scared me.
It's just her and that giant shit.
No.
That one alien.
Interesting side note, I believe John Hurt has the record for the most on-screen deaths,
Beating out Sean Bean.
beating out Sean Bean.
Well, Sean Bean's got to do something about that. How you can let that record stand?
They're doing the horror movie icons. You have to have Tom Savini.
Thompson, that name sounds super familiar.
Yeah. He did all of the
Sex Machine and Dust Till
from
Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn. He did all of the special effects, and he has been in every horror movie that he's ever worked on, and he has died in every one of them.
Okay then.
Yeah.
He's
Then,
the
yeah.
expert.
He's the one who does all the
Dawn of the
Romero
Dead.
stuff.
Gotta shoot him in the head.
Well, there you go.
I think
do that.
part of
the
this kind of brings us the problem though, because when you think of the Expendables, the concept, it's like, oh, all these like
Huge names.
huge name action movie stars, and for the horror version, we're really trying to scratch our heads, being like, oh, what about that guy? What about that guy?
Like in the whole lineup, there's nobody that's that's triple A blockbuster, which means it'd be cheaper for Bruce Campbell to produce.
Yeah.
So it's good.
I just, for me, when I think of horror movies, I don't think of actors that play those people. I just
think of
this-
monsters.
This monsters and this characters.
And that's a whole different, because then you're getting into licensing issues, and it's just a nightmare. But I don't know. I think it's a good idea, and I'll support Bruce Campbell doing it. I mean, if he said he wants to do a cooking show, I'll all right, let's do that. If he wants to teach people how to babysit, that's fine. Let's do that.
Babysitting with Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
Wow, perfect title.
That just came to me, dude. I don't know where this stuff comes from.
All right.
Nerd Blasphemy, Nerd Blasphemy.
So
Nerd Blasphemy. That's all I got.
that's terrible.
That's where it's at right now.
Absolutely terrible.
Work in progress, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Our Nerd Blasphemy this week is coming from Chris, as our guest usually blasphemes.
Because then if you disagree with the person, then they never have to show up again.
And we can distance ourselves from it. Like the next week, we can be like, oh, that guy. Oh, well. Anyways. So what are we blaspheming today? Well, what do you hate that everybody loves?
All right. Well, mine is an interesting story in that I actually started out really liking it, and then I grew to really hate it, and that is Game of Thrones. I have read I've read all 5 books, and I've seen the first season of the HBO series, and that kind of coincided with when I was like, I had to tap out, I can't do this anymore. It starts out pretty strong, the first book. There's stuff going on, like he's setting up his world, he's got, the shocking twist at the end, and I'm not going to go into spoilers because, I don't want to inadvertently spoil anything for people who haven't caught up. But, so I'm just going to kind of try to highlight the general problems I have with it. And it really peaks around book 4. And the problem is, he started getting really popular around the time when book 4 came out. And it really shows in the same way that I have problems with, Kill Bill, that Quentin Tarantino did. When a person gets really popular, they lose the ability to edit their work. And
Like George Lucas.
yeah, actually, You know, when someone is so popular that they no one is afraid to tell them no anymore.
Yeah.
We can call that a classic torture.
So, like, this really showed for me in Book 4 of Game of Thrones when, hey, let's spend an entire book focusing on characters that aren't at all interesting. Let's spend 200 pages about Cersei Lannister, the worst written character in fiction. Because he's like, oh, I got all these ideas, I'm gonna write all this stuff about these characters. Oh, these characters that people actually like, we'll just save that for Book 5. But Book 4 is gonna be great. It's gonna have all this stuff with Sansa and all the other people in the kingdom that you don't care about. I don't care about them. I want to get to the stuff on the wall. I want to get to the stuff over on the other continent. I don't care about Cersei Lannister. But nobody is telling him this is a bad idea, so he's just writing and writing and writing about all these terrible things. And the other problem that I have with it is, okay, so I assume by this point everybody knows the big twist at the end of the first book, that Ned Stark doesn't make it. And it was a huge shocking twist when it happened. And then he's like, oh man, people really liked it when this major character died, because then it creates all this drama and this tension. So he tries to replicate that in every subsequent book where, oh, maybe this character will die, maybe this character will die, I don't know. Any character could die at any moment.
It's no longer shocking whenever it happens all the time.
Yeah, because now it's like, okay, which character is going to die in this book?
Yeah.
Which character is going to die in this book? And then you don't get to finish these character arcs.
Yeah, it no longer has impact when it's been turned into like an internet meme. And it's kind of like a joke.
It's like he was trying so hard to recapture the success he had in the first book with each subsequent book, and I don't think he actually has the ideas to carry through.
Yeah.
So it's just every subsequent book he's put out has just been more and more disappointing to me, to the point where I just tapped out. I don't even want to finish the series anymore.
You know, I disagree with you on a lot of stuff. We disagree about Mortal Kombat. We disagree about awesome terms from the 30s. But I absolutely agree with you on this matter. Because, I mean, I haven't read any of the books, so I can't claim that. But I have watched the first 2 seasons, and the first 2 seasons was nothing but me going, when will something interesting happen? I know there's dragons in this world. I know there's zombies in this world. Maybe I can see them do something. It was so dull. There's like
zombie dragons.
There's like ice zombies, and it just.
And this is all the cool stuff. He is like, oh, we'll deal with that later. But let's spend a chapter talking about how this person kind of wants to sleep with this other person. Okay, but you've got dragons and you've got like ice zombies.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I want to have this shocking death, but why does a shocking death have to just be like somebody stabbed them from behind? Why can't the shocking death be they were torn apart by ice zombies and eaten by a dragon?
A lot.
Yeah, dude, so zombie dragons are the way to go. That's how book 6 ends.
Like, instead of having the character just like get stabbed or poisoned or whatever. Why doesn't like a giant exploding cart like drop on them and then like blow up? Like, I would read that.
I think the whole series would be massively increased if you gave just one character an Uzi.
Yes.
Alright, they should discover some relic that the gun.
Oh, you know what? Game of Thrones is in the future. There was a nuclear holocaust. That's why there's ice zombies.
That's it. And then the best part. And then in the ruins of like this old city, of this old like we'll say New York, they find this odd relic that fits on their hand.
Power glove?
No. Triumph, the insult comic dog. And the personality takes over.
It's Grain of Triumphs. Great. Game of
Triumph sits on the Iron Throne.
It should be Game of Insult.
For me to poop on.
On that topic, the Iron Throne is coming to Austin, and Dragon's Lair is doing like this thing where if you take a picture on the Iron Throne and post it on our Facebook, you could win like a gift or like money or something.
Oh, so you could like come in and sit on it?
Well, it's not going to be here.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be somewhere in Austin. But if you go there, take a picture on it, and then post it on the Dragon's Lair Facebook page, you can win prizes and dollars.
Oh yeah, like swag?
Like swag.
Like coins and stuff?
Not so much swag.
Oh,
So-
Doge coins?
Swag.
So everybody in Austin, go find the Iron Throne and take a picture of it, and then you get stuff.
Yeah, you can get stuff. If it's like it has to be awesome. You have to look like a bamf. You know what I'm saying?
So dress like Batman.
Just do it as cool as you can. All right.
So that was pretty nerdy and blasphemous because Game of Thrones is like,
It's super popular.
yeah.
People love it.
And you know, I will give credit where credit is due. The HBO show actually seemed like it solved a lot of the problems that I had with the books. The casting is great. As much as I hate Cersei Lannister, the actress who plays her on the TV show, Lena Headey, is amazing.
And she's Sarah Connor.
Peter Dinklage is great. The music is amazing, but it's also done by that guy who did the Pacific Rim soundtrack, so that's to be expected. But I've said my piece.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Comic time?
Yeah, let's do comic time.
I'm looking forward to this one because I picked at Joe's Comics, so I know.
So we probably got the same comics.
Yeah. Like that background is too not.
It's an awesome comic.
Did you read it?
Huh?
Did you read it?
Well, no, I haven't. I just bought it.
You just bought it.
Yeah. All right.
Get yours, yeah.
Oh, I thought we had the exact same ones.
You thought we had the exact same ones? No, I know we don't have the exact same ones, but I
Okay.
noticed something is
All right, something's different. All right. And Chris doesn't have any comics because Chris rightly knows that comics are mostly terrible.
We should do 1, 2, 3, go on this.
Print is dead.
All right. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Yes! Excellent!
Hey, even better.
Wild Stallions! Yeah, so that's Villain Ted's triumphant return.
Yes.
Number 1 of 6. So, yeah. It could be the most triumphant thing we've ever. Did you watch the cartoon? Did anybody watch the cartoon
Yes.
growing up? That cartoon was awesome.
Did you read the old comic?
There was an old
after
comic?
Comic's Journey. It had like the Grim Reaper in it and everything. Stations.
what?
It was great. Stations on the cover of this one. Man, like
Oh.
Do they go into the future?
I haven't read it, but I assume so because they got a. I have no idea. But
That's already been done.
all right, I just flipped through it and Death is in this. Awesome.
Oh, there we go. Like,
I unironically love Bill and Ted, like from the '80s. Just both movies.
Wasn't the guy who
Yes.
played Death also the guy who played RoboCop?
No.
remember when Death rapped? That was so excellent.
The guy that played Death played the guy from Deep Space
Yeah, he was.
Nine.
Yes, that's right. Because the guy who played RoboCop was in the new Star Trek movie. Which
Yes.
I got my Star Trek characters mixed.
Yeah, because I think it was Peter Weller was RoboCop. But yep. Which I actually just recently rewatched because I had to get the taste of the crappy reboot out of my mouth.
Did you watch the scenes that were done from each individual person for like? I thought I was trying to explain it last time, but like they did a shot-for-shot remake of the first one, but they used different stuff. So like the death scene was done with babies as the actors.
I haven't looked that up yet, but no, I just watched the original RoboCop, which holds up.
Yeah.
Oh, still great. Still fantastic.
Would you buy it for $1?
Absolutely, man, it's so good. Every aspect of it. And there's only one thing that I really wish they would go back and change because you remember the scene where Ed 209 kills the guy in the very beginning? That scene was originally edited because it gave them like an X rating at the time because originally it went on for uncomfortably long.
Really?
Because they were trying to drive home the joke that Ed 209 was a rushed weapon. So as he's shooting his miniguns, like the guy just keeps getting riddled with bullets again and again and again. And it goes to the point that Ed 209's guns are still spinning long after he's lost ammunition. And it's just so very clear that it's, just this wild factory like flaw. But then they're like, no, that's way too violent.
Wow, that's crazy.
That was the thing that was ruled out. I'm sure there's other stuff too, but because Boddicker probably kills like tons of babies, and they're like, no, you can't do that either. But it holds up. It's such a good movie, and that reboot is a travesty.
But it's got your bro in it.
Who's my bro?
I thought Dr. McCoy was in it. Keith Urban.
Carl Urban? I didn't know he was in the new RoboCop.
Wasn't he?
I don't think he is.
No.
I might have given it a
was
chance if
Dredd.
Carl Urban was in it.
Oh, he was Judge Dredd? I
Yeah.
got those movies confused because it was the same half mask and same tired reboot.
Oh, no.
The Judge
Don't do
Dredd
that.
reboot is amazing.
Yeah.
Dread is
Yeah,
That's someone who would be in your horror icons thing is Jackie Earle Haley.
why?
He was Freddy Krueger.
I thought Ben England was...
Yeah, Ben England was...
He was in the new one.
Oh, okay.
No one saw the
Jackie Earle
new
Haley,
one.
He's been in a lot of
I didn't see the new one.
Oh, he's the Rorschach in Watchmen too.
Sadler? Was
I
it
like-
Death?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Death.
Oh, I need like another.
Did anybody see Death Becomes Her?
Yes.
Yes, with Bruce Willis, when Bruce Willis had hair.
Goldie Hawn.
And Goldie Hawn and, what was her name? The redhead.
Oh, he's the bad guy in Die Hard too.
Goldie Hawn was right. It was
There you go.
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep was... That movie was so awesome.
I like that movie.
I like when she has the hole in her belly. That's so awesome.
No, when at the very end where they're
When they-
walking down the stairs.
All right, Matt. Let's hold up our comics back to back because they have the same back.
But I think they're totally different
They're probably
comics.
They are
totally
in fact
different. But one of them is way better. Are you ready? Ready for this?
Scotty Young, way better.
Scotty Young is better than Captain Marvel.
These are very different. I mean, they're both good characters, but really, Howard the Duck.
There's a pop vinyl Howard the Duck.
There is. I'm waiting for them to make Pop Vinyl Always Sunny, and then I'll get into the Pop Vinyl thing.
Pop vinyl.
Like, I've been waiting
Charlie,
for it.
King of the Rats.
Oh no, Reiner's an enabler. He's gonna talk Always Sunny for the whole rest of the show.
Charlie, I gotta get to the park.
Stay true first, blood.
Have you told Matt about the kaiju clock that you run for me?
So, you know, in Pacific Rim, when they have the war clock, that they reset every time there's a new invasion. So every time Joe makes an Always Sunny reference, I reset the clock.
No way.
And it's just,
It's probably like 2 seconds now.
oh, it's very, yeah. It's,
That's awesome.
by the way, just standard update. I know we're talking about comics, but standard update. Always Sunny's season 10 remains fantastic. The most
Which is
recent
hard
episode-
because some of the episodes got like boring.
Oh, so good.
In
Like,
like the middle seasons, you're like, really? Okay.
I never found any of them boring, but I have a special fondness in my heart for it. Last week's was a Family Feud parody, and this week's was Frank Retires, and all 4 of the others try to vie to see who gets control of Patty's pub, and it was just like Dennis was just as like evil and menacing as ever, and Charlie was off the charts. And there's this great scene where spoilers, where they try to get Mac to kick Charlie out of the bar, and of course Mac's being like his tough guy thing, as he's like, all right man, I'm gonna chokehold you and drag you out, and it's literally just like Charlie going limp in Mac's arms as he's laying on top of Mac, and Mac chokes himself out. Once he passes out with like his eyes open, Charlie just sits up, very casual. He's like, your head of security just choked himself out.
The sheriff.
And when you get a picture in his
Yes.
voice, it's so awesome.
It's such a good episode. All right. Anyway, so our comics are pretty simple. We got Captain Marvel. So they really they gave her the Mohawk helmet, huh?
Yeah, it's the I don't know. The more I read it, the more I'm like, you're going downhill. But luckily, I have Miss Marvel to make up for it, and I would have picked up Silk if they weren't orbiting the universe. And who knows if she exists anymore? Does she exist anymore? Yeah. See, not even the person that works at the comic book store can tell me if Silk's going to exist past whatever their stupid reboot universe thing is going to be. But they're probably not going to make her because they're too busy making Spider-Gwen, and nobody cares about Silk.
Is this who I think it is?
What?
I don't, it might be a spoiler.
Don't
for
spoil
you.
it for me.
I don't know. Silk sold out,
Really?
so they might continue it. So hopefully.
Because
That might be who I think it is.
I don't know.
We'll talk.
I'm not as familiar with Marvel stuff.
All right, we'll talk about that whenever next week, man.
all right.
You'll know if it's the character I think it is. You'll know it whenever it pops up.
All right.
So, all right. I guess that's our show.
That was a show.
Do we know what we're going to be doing for Nerd Blasphemy next week?
No, I mean, we always keep that open. We always keep threatening Boba Fett, but
Boba Fett's because
he's so easy.
yeah, because everybody knows why he's lame.
Because he accidentally got knocked into a Sarlacc pit by a blind Han Solo.
Have you seen the picture of the actor who plays Boba Fett without his helmet on? and it's like him like hanging out with a couple of extras.
And he looks like an accountant.
Yeah.
Is his head really shaped like that?
It sticks out right here.
That's
Oh my gosh! You have flexible skin, sir.
What?
well, thankfully George Lucas laid out for all of us why we should not like Boba Fett. He's like, oh hey, that's a cool character. Let's see how I can ruin that for everybody. That's
What?
They ruined Boba Fett?
well, yeah,
When he's baby Boba?
baby Boba.
Okay. Those movies are horrible.
And that's
Yeah.
coming from a guy that's literally wearing a Boba Fett hat.
He agrees that baby Boba is bad. Baby Boba is bad. Say that like 4 times really
It
fast.
was bad.
I choose
Right,
to.
right.
I enjoyed watching
baby
him.
Boba's
You
bad,
struggled.
Baby Boba's bad, baby
Watching
Boba's
him
bad,
cry.
baby Boba's bad.
I actually
No.
enjoyed that.
I wanted him to be holding his dad's head and then the head just fall out of the hub.
I know.
Or at least
Why
not
didn't
dribbling
that happen?
Something. Oh, I guess it'd be cauterized, right? Because it's a lightsaber, but like.
I feel like the head would fall out.
That's what I was thinking. Just be like
Maybe
balanced.
he's chin strapped.
Come on, gravity.
That's it. So Reiner, if we do a nerd blasphemy about Boba Fett, will you like stand in at his defense?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, how about we do that? How about we do a reverse? Because
We should put Reiner on screen. That would blow people's minds.
We don't want to.
we're playing
You don't want to blow
God.
minds?
I don't think they're ready yet.
They're not ready yet.
You're not Reiner worthy.
The children are not yet prepared for Reiner on screen.
I want to add more, but it's a family-friendly show, whatever. So
All right. Well, you can wear a shirt. You don't have to do it.
We've got this thing right here, so it's like you can totally go pantsless if you need
I was
to.
thinking like vocally saying something,
Oh.
but you went to shirtlessness. So.
All right. So,
How about Reiner will go on camera if you guys get 1,000 viewers?
1,000 subscribers or views?
In
Viewers.
5,000 years.
If it's-
Hey, we're 968 away from that, so we can totally do this.
start mashing that refresh button. Just. So yeah, I'm guessing that's everything for today.
That's everything for today.
So hopefully, please, no other famous nerdy people, please don't die.
Yeah.
We'd like to have a week where we don't talk about that.
I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say it.
You're gonna jinx it. You're already jinxed. We already jinxed Christopher Lee, so like, who knows what else?
He's on the chopping block, is what we're saying.
Poor Christopher Lee.
All right then.
So yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, please subscribe. Please comment. If you
Like
have
it, too.
suggestion for Nerd Blasphemy, yeah, you can like it if you want. But yeah, and we will talk about stuff next week. Have a great one. Guess that's it.
That's it.